First lady of Indian cinema, Devika Rani, was married to the Russian painter Roerich, and they purchased estate including the plantations of a fragrant tree, a tree known as Linaloe tree plantations, and that estate was purchased from the European brothers Anderson and Humphreys, who has raised the plantations of this tree, also known as the Indian Lavender Tree, because the wood, the flowers, the leaves, they have lemon scented, lavender scented fragrance. Because of that, it is called the Indian Lavender Tree, although it is not native to India, it is native to Mexico. That famous Roerich estate was taken over by government after the death of Devika Rani in 1994. Year before, in 93, her husband also left for a heavenly abode. And these trees are a treasure, as they are about 12,000 in numbers, and the seeds yield aromatic oil rich in linaloe acetate, resembling the linalool aromas. And because of this, it is also known as the incense tree or the fragrance tree, lavender tree or linaloe tree or lemon copal tree. Botanically, it is known as Bursera penicillata. And there was a time in 80s and 90s, this particular tree was also introduced in the State Forest Research Institute, Janipura Hills. Single tree existed there, but it perished later. This more than 400 acres estate abounds in more than 90 different kinds of trees and 20-30 shrubs, creepers, and many unique herbs. Rich wildlife. These trees, basically native to Mexico, they were introduced for the perfumery industry because the wood also yields oil in Mexico, South America, but in India usually it's fruits, husks. This is used for the distillation of the linaloe oil. It is highly fragrant. During the month of July, August, when it has the fruit production, the air around the estate gets filled with the fragrance. Hardly about 29 kilometers from the Bangalore city. This is the important green lung. Area is double the size of Lal Bagh. So apart from the Kuban Park and Lal Bagh, we have this Roerich estate, rich in the plantation of the tree called the Bursera penicillata trees from the family Burseraceae. Another tree which is found in Mexico is known as the elephant tree. Basically, the tree is from other species Bursera microphylla, and its fruits are also used by many birds as food. It is also aromatic. There is another tree which is called the tourist tree. It is found in South America, Peru, Argentina, called as Bursera simaruba. And why this is called tourist tree? Because its bark exfoliates in thin strips, and just it looks like the face of a tourist who is trekking in the high alpine mountains, and after exposure to the ultraviolet radiations, skin sloughs off this similar fashion as the bark of the Bursera simaruba. Another species which is endangered, that is Bursera graveolens. This is also reported from South India, and this is very useful for the essential oils, and this is also heavily exploited tree in the family Burseraceae. Coming back to our own species Bursera penicillata, which was introduced in Bangalore in the Tataguni estate, then purchased by the European brothers Anderson and Humphires. They had the plans to have the monopoly of the Linaloe oil. Ultimately, in the 1950s, it was purchased by the rich couple, Russian origin but born in Himachal Pradesh, son of Nicholas Roerich. Nicholas Roerich, his father, was himself is a grain artist. He has travelled Ladakh, Tibet, and collected artifacts, and very large collection of paintings was shifted to Bangalore in that rich estate where grew the trees of Bursera penicillata. The tree is unique, having the smooth bark. The trees are drought resistant. They can grow in dry arid lands. They have the capability to store water. They have the horizontal branching, and they remain leafless from December to March. Somewhere in April, new leaves appear, and by May, fruits starts appearing, and by July, August, they become mature. So mature fruits are also eaten by the wildlife. Parakeets, jackals, and these fruits are also used for the extraction of the aromatic oil, that is linaloe oil, which fetches very good price in the market. Apart from its aroma, which is also indication of aromatherapy, this particular oil is used in toiletries, cosmetics, body lotions, facial creams. The quality of oil helps in the treatment of wrinkles. It is anti-aging. It is rejuvenating. So it is used widely in the health care, skin care, cosmetics, toiletries, soaps, lotions. In countries like Russia, it is in great demand. This Bursera penicillata has the alternate leaves, and leaves are up to 8 inch. They are pinnate and having the opposite toothed leaflets. Little resemblance to even Boswellia. Boswellia serrata slegum is also from the Burseraceae family, and this particular tree is introduced in Jammu, Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine campus. We can see this is also the plant which yields the fragrance. Another plant which is very nearly related to the Bursera and Boswellias is Commiphora mucul. This tree is also a reputed medicine plant under the name Guglu, and it is under cultivation in Gujarat and Rajasthan. This is critically endangered plant. All these plants, they have the similar drought resistant quality. Bark exfoliates in papery thin strips. Mostly the flowers are unisexual. That is, male flowers and female flowers, they are born on separate plants, so they are dioecious plants. Similarly, our Bursera penicillata is also a dioecious tree. Flowers are greenish yellow, 4-petaled. In Bursera penicillata are 5-petaled. Velvet petals. Number of stamens is double the number of petals. Fruit contains 2-3 seeds, and its plantations, apart from the rare estate in Bangalore on Kanakapura road, the plantations have also been raised by the forest department in Hyderabad for the commercial exploitation of its berries as the source of that important cosmetic oil, medicinal oil called Linaloe oil. This Bursera penicillata is adapted to tropical and subtropical climate, and its demand for water is not much. So this can easily be cultivated, and the oil extraction can yield benefits to the growers. In 2010, there was a report of fire in the Rurich estate, and many Bursera plantations, Bursera trees, they were perished. The Karnataka government is trying to develop the estate as a museum, as a cultural center, with scope for biodiversity conservation, utilization of the fragrance, tree of fragrance, that is Bursera penicillata, also known as lemon copal tree or Indian lavender tree. When we talk about a lavender in our Jammu and Kashmir, we usually refer to another bushy plant, that is lavandula angustifolia or lavandula, which is popularly known as lavender. We have introduced the lavender crop in locations like Bhadrawa, Kashmir, Badgam, Pahalgam. This also yields a very high priced aromatic oil called as the lavender oil. But the tree which I am referring to, this is a tree, woody tree. Its wood also yields oil. But in India, mostly we are exploiting only its fruits for the oil extraction, so that trees are not damaged. If wood is cut, then obviously it will damage the tree. So despite its nativity to Mexican highlands, but the yield of oil and phytochemicals is much superior in our Indian plantations of Bursera penicillata. 10 to 12% fatty oil is also found in the seeds, and essential oils. This oil is also useful in the treatment of respiratory ailments, cough and congestion. This is also useful for boosting the immunity and for the health of lungs as part of the aromatherapy. So this particular tree we also need to introduce in Jammu again, although the previous attempt done by the State Forest Research Institute long back, the tree is not surviving today. But Forest Department or the Floriculture Department in Jammu and Kashmir, they should try to introduce this unique Indian lavender tree or the tree of fragrance, Bursera penicillata, in Jammu.